All right, everyone. Angry Bears Fan Podcast, episode 20. Like, follow, subscribe, please. Comment about what we should be talking about, or if you agree or disagree. Like I said, episode 20. This is like episode 3 or 4 of being monetized. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Like I said, it's happening a lot faster than we thought. I thought it'd take about 25 to 30 episodes before we were monetized, but a little faster than I envisioned. But we're going to keep up the pace. And like I said, appreciate everybody who's watching, like, and follow, subscribing. We're doing, like I said, a lot better than I thought we were going to do. All right, the Bears. Free agency started, on Tuesday at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. The Bears made a few solid moves. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Nate Davis, Travis Homer. That's it, right?
Yeah, so far.
How do you feel about those?
I mean, when you and I first started, when we were talking about our free agents, we were kind of talking about, or I was talking about at least Tremaine Edmonds, and honestly, TJ Edwards didn't even pop up on my radar.
No, mine either.
And it's kind of surprising because, for the price that we got TJ Edwards, the production wise, that's amazing. I mean, you talk about it there, or ESPN's been talking about it a lot too, ESPN Radio and stuff, where we essentially got Tremaine Edmonds, who is a 6'5" athletic freak at middle linebacker, and TJ Edwards for the price of what we would be paying Roquan Smith, maybe a little bit more.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, but Tremaine Edmonds, he fits Matt Eberflus's mold a little bit better. He's 6'5" as opposed to 6'1". Flus, kind of looks at those Darius Leonard types that have that height to them, that length, and that's another word that we'll continue using as we go through our mock drafts as well as free agency is youth, length, athleticism, stuff like that. That's what it seems like they're looking for, and it looks like the signing so far from Ryan Pace has kind of coincided with what Matt Eberflus is looking for on his defense, and as well as just roster building in general, that youth, that athleticism, the length. Great signing by Ryan Poles getting Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. So that was really, really good. The only thing that does concern me, Sean, so far, we're technically today, as we're recording this, is the official first day of the new league year, second wave of free agency, so to speak, because the legal tampering period is over, so to speak. And we still don't have any defensive linemen besides the cat from Tennessee, that 3 technique, that kind of
Walker.
Yeah, Walker. He kind of goes all over the place. He's a specialist. So
Lawrence, sorry, DeMarcus Lawrence, not Walker.
DeMarcus Lawrence, yeah.
Is it Walker? Let me look. It's Walker or Lawrence. Now I'm confusing myself.
Well, yeah, it just, and that's the thing, is that we don't know who this guy is, and it concerns me a little bit because we have not shorn up, with the exception of the Nate Davis signing. We haven't really done much on the offensive line or the defensive line. So that concerns me a little bit. But Ryan Poles has always said he comes from a organization that has built their offensive defensive lines through the draft, minus Orlando Brown Jr. when they traded for him from Baltimore. But for the most part, they built their offensive defensive lines through the draft. And
I don't know if that's true. Who, the Chiefs? He's on the Chiefs, right? Yes. No, because they had that guy they signed from the Patriots. I can't think of who. The year before. That's not my concern with all this. Is I'm an offensive line myself. I mean, and I know how important it is, but I don't value offensive linemen high in the draft unless it's some freak left tackle. Just because I think it's more team and scheme. It's not like you can coach linemen up more so than any other position. I think, like at wide receiver, if you're not big or if you're not fast or quick, you're just dead. But you could teach a slow guy with crappy footwork if they're all working together as a team. I just feel like you can coach up linemen more, and I think it's more of a culture than we drafted 5 guys in the first round, so our offensive line is going to be good, or we got the highest paid O-line, so we're going to be good. I think it's more of a mentality and a team thing. And that's my concern, like you said, that we haven't gotten anybody on the D-line or really the O-line. Nate Davis is a solid signing. He'll probably could start all year and be just fine. But it worries me because I think we're going to draft a tackle in the top 10, and I just don't think there's one worthy of it. There's some generational guys that you know are going to be your anchor for 15 years, 10, 15 years. Jake Long, Joe Thomas. You know what I mean? There's a few of these guys, but I really don't. Bransky.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that with the Nate Davis signing, so he's never played anything other than right guard.
Yeah.
In his entire career.
We need a right guard.
Yeah, well, Tevin Jenkins plays right guard, and what I think they're going to do is I really think they might swing Tevin Jenkins out to right tackle. That's what he was drafted as. They put him inside because, you know, I don't know what happened.
He wasn't good at tackle.
So I don't know if they're going to kick him over the left. I don't know if they're going to push him outside to right tackle, give him another shot. I don't know what they're thinking. And as of right now, with the free agent signings and lack thereof, my mock draft this week has kind of mirrored that sentiment in terms of what we have and what we haven't got. I would like for it to change. I don't want to take a tackle first round either, especially at pick 9. If we were to trade back again from pick 9, then maybe. But like you said, the only tackle I can see, and the reason why, and there's been a lot of talk about Peter Skoransky, is that they're going to draft him. He's got short arms. Short arms are better for interior offensive linemen. Is that they're going to draft Skoransky and move him over to guard.
Yeah, they'll probably throw him out at right tackle, and if he's getting exposed, kick him in the guard.
And that's the thing too, is that realistically, the last guard that was drafted that high was Quentin Nelson. And yeah, that's turned out really nicely for Indianapolis, but he's not as good of a prospect as Quentin Nelson was coming out.
No.
So it does concern me a little bit. The rest of the signings, like I said, the rest of the signings I really like. The TJ Edwards one really surprised me. He's a Chicago kid. Maybe he took a little bit of a hometown discount to be with, his hometown team. I just seen
teammate, right? He was a Sanborn teammate. Him and Sanborn were teammates in college.
And then I saw tonight, actually, DJ Moore, Justin Fields, Chase Claypool, and Darnell Mooney. All 4 of them are at the Bulls game tonight. They're at the United Center.
Watching them play my Kings. They were winning, too. Sons of bitches.
Well,
they were up 10 at halftime. They had to win. Justin Fields up.
They need to be eating, sleeping, drinking, and fucking together.
Yes.
Just to get that cohesiveness together. I mean, I don't care. You guys got to swap and run a train on a bitch. I don't care. Like, you guys do not leave each other's sides. You need to have everything that you need to do together to build chemistry. I don't care at this point. Like,
yeah, we definitely need that. You'll see later, but I still think we're not done at wide receiver or tight end. I'm just not sold on Claypool or Mooney. DJ Moore has proved that he's a guy, but I still think we should get somebody else if we want especially since we don't have a dynamic running back. I just think we need one more playmaker somewhere, and I think more of a big body guy, a big tight end, or possession wide receiver. I don't know if I want to trade for. I know when Adam was on, he was talking about D-Hop and trading for D-Hop and stuff, but I don't know if necessarily that. But
I'll tell you what. I've been watching a lot of tape recently on, and my Illinois bias is going to come out now. I've watched a couple of Illinois guys. I watched Chase Brown as well as Devin Witherspoon, and I will honestly say that at number 9, if Devin Witherspoon is on the board and they take him, I won't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad. I think I'd be fine with that pick. That's not who I had them taking in my mock draft. I do think that Poles will be trading back. I really do. That will be falling. Maybe not too far back. In mine, I think I have them going back to 12. But I do think we might go back to maybe as far as like 17. I know the Steelers are looking to move up. The Redskins are looking to move up. But I do think we're going to fall back, and he's going to get even more picks.
God damn it.
And because like you said, I think Poles wants to build this roster through the draft, and he's going to keep stacking as many draft picks as he can get.
Well, yeah, there's that huge gap from 9 to 55 that they're picking, and I just don't know if that's going to be okay with him. I really think he wants, as like you said, as many picks as possible. And I think if you're trading 8 spots down to 17, 16, 18, wherever, I really think you're going to pick up an additional first next year if somebody wants somebody
You think
badly
he'd
enough.
want a next first, or maybe what, a second?
Yeah, something like
Maybe. I
you're
don't
going
think
to
no
need.
one's going to give you a next first unless it's a quarterback. Unless Richardson or somebody fall, nobody's going to give you a next first to draft Quentin Johnson from TCU or for
Oh no, 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 no. I don't expect wide
maybe Will
receivers to
Anderson.
go.
Like if Will Anderson fell to 9 or something, maybe.
Well, that's another thing we have to talk about. So, Jalen Carter had his pro day today,
Yeah,
and it went horrible.
yeah, I saw.
Couldn't even finish his drills. He was winded. He showed up 9 pounds heavier than he did at the combine. Like, and this go and obviously he's probably not going to be watching this, right? But he's got a lot of shit right now that's going on in his life. I will tell you this, man. Some things are bigger than football. Like you need to, if you're going through something right now in terms of mental health or whatever, you're down on your luck, whatever, you need to better yourself as a human and as an individual before you try to, because the only thing giving you money and giving you exposure, all that's going to do is make your problems worse. I mean, look at John Morant right now. Like you have to focus on you. Let's get you, let's get your mental shit, whatever's going on with you right now in your life. Let's get that fixed, and then let's worry about football. Like I understand you're a young man, you're gonna want to make some money. You're a hell of a player, but you already had questions about your character, about your work ethic, and you show up to probably the biggest job interview of your life, and you're heavier. You can't even finish drills. Like something's going on there, and
Yeah,
that's gonna cause. I think that's gonna cause a big slide in his draft stock.
yeah, definitely didn't help him. I think he will be there for the Bears at 9 if they still want him.
I
I
don't think
agree with
so.
you in a sense. I think unlike most people, this young man had a perfect thing to help him fight through his mental struggles, and he wasted it. He had a goal, or you know what I mean. Like he could have put all his energy and focus his mentals towards the draft, and you know what I mean, staying in shape and working hard, and he decided not to, and that does show something. And like you said, biggest job interview, and you just grinded for 3 or 4 years at Georgia. You know what I mean, and mostly stayed out of trouble. You stayed in good shape, and then literally as soon as you guys win the championship and you're going to the draft, you get your street racing teammate dies. All shit's happening now. You're not working out. It's like, how are you not working out after the season starts? Like, you don't got nothing better to do to go work out 5 days a week. You know what I mean? For a couple hours and then go do whatever the fuck you want. Like I'm assuming is he still enrolled in Georgia right now? It's like probably got facilities on campus. You go use them, go finish your school, eat there. Like it shows that like, are we gonna have to keep an eye on this guy? And I said that, oh, you know what I mean? I would give him a personal bodyguard if I was him, but the weight thing is more concerning to me than the street racing, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Young
just
men
very
do dumb
unfortunate.
things. Every young man, I won't say every, but 9 of the 10 young men I met like to go fast in their car, and something stupid usually happens. So I won't hold that against him too much. I will, you know what I mean? He's accountable, and you should make better choices. But I just think that's not this out of the ordinary thing you wouldn't expect from a young man. You know what I mean? He's still a kid. Sometimes we forget these guys are, you know what I mean? They're only 21, and it's not like they've been out like we were when we were 18, 19, and 20 and working hard, going to work and paying bills. And, you know what I mean? They're in school still. You know what I mean? If you're going to Georgia, got a lot of things catered for you, and you're just working out and playing football. And, but like I said, the being out of shape thing that concerns me. Like, what did you have better to do in the last 2 months than to stay in the shape you've been keeping yourself in for the last 8 years? I mean, even in high school, it's not even a Georgia thing. You've been grinding for this moment, and to give up at the end, like right before the finish line, is concerning.
Yes, very much so. And like I said, I think he worked his way out. I mean, it's very quite possible, Sean, that he worked his way out of the first round with that pro day today. It's possible. Like
Maybe
there's a lot of teams. I mean, maybe Patriots, Bill Belichick will be like, ooh, Let me get, and honestly, maybe that's what he needs is a Bill Belichickian kind of locker room and mentor, because Bill Belichick takes on
Maybe.
a lot of those guys, Randy Moss,
Well, that's what I
Antonio Brown,
was
even.
saying. Like, I know what you're trying to say, but I don't like to give all these guys a cop out. Even John Moran with mental health. They're not mental health. They're being fucking idiots. Like, they're not, like, John Moran's not a president. He's rich and he's young and he's making silly decisions because nobody, including his dad, is not telling him, like, that's not how you should behave when you're going to be a billionaire. Like, sorry, I know you're 22 or 23 and your 23-year-old friends get to run around and do whatever they want, but you cannot do that. Like, that's the problem. These guys they don't have mental health problems. They've reached the pinnacle. It's one thing to be born with the gifts that they have, but you still have to have the mental fortitude to make it through college football, to be one of the best players, to make it in the NBA, to be rookie of the year. Like, these guys don't have I don't think they have actual mental health. I think their fame has gone to their head and they're making silly decisions with their adolescent brains mixed with their high testosterone levels, and and like I said, it's things that men do. Like, John Moran was at a strip club and he was being tough. Like, that's not, like I said, I'd be more concerned if he wasn't working out. It's a stupid thing to do, but I just think that's a product of their environment where they don't have some dad or some coach. Like, they're not these people telling them, like, bro, chill out. Like, sorry, you don't get to be a kid. If you wanted to be a kid, you don't get to play in the NFL. You pick. You can do, like, you don't have to play in the NFL. You can do whatever you want. Like, but these are the things that come with it, where you don't get to do what other 23-year-olds get to do. And you should know that already, because you've already been doing that, not doing what other people your age is doing to get the goal. And I don't like I said, with the John thing where they're, oh, it's mental health, blah, blah, blah. He's getting help. That's just bullshit. So they don't suspend him because he was just doing silly shit, making silly decisions. John Morant does not have mental health problems. He has fucking ego problems and poor time management problems. Like, he needs to get a fucking Nintendo Switch or an Xbox, and you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck you on a strip club in the middle of the night for? Can we get this guy a fucking girlfriend? And like I said, some video games to play in his fucking room when they get off the plane. He's just a young man. And again, it's idle hands. We were kids and we would go do some dumb shit at 1 a.m. Oh, let's go drink. Let's go do this. Let's go meet some girl. Like, so I understand that. It's not mental health problems. He's got fucking high testosterone and fucking semen growing inside of his body. That's not fucking like, there's nothing wrong with his brain. He just doesn't, like I said, he needs a little guidance and a little self-control. Like, he's not fucking crazy person. But off my John Morant rant, because who cares about the Grizzlies? Yeah, Jalen Carter. We've been harping on him a lot. I feel bad. I won't say I feel bad for him. It sucks for him that, you know what I mean? It's that he's ruining this blessing that he had. I don't think he'll fall out of the first round. I think he's just too talented. He was graded too high for anybody to let that happen. But I do think he's going to slide to like 15, and we're going to fuck around. The Packers are going to get him, or the Lions are going to get him, and it's really going to annoy me. I'll have to see what he does about his weight coming up with the draft, because I probably still wouldn't mind getting him at 9. Like you said, just where we were at. I don't want to pick a tackle. I like Saransky. I think he's good. I just do not want to pick him at 9. And I just think right now, as we stand, if we drafted tomorrow and number 9 rolled up, we'd be picking Saransky. And even though I don't have that in my mock draft because I was picking with my heart, I think that's what's going to happen, and that's going to annoy me.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's obviously still the Orlando Brown Jr. We're waiting on. There's the Darius Slay we're waiting on. The Darius Slay thing I just don't see happening because of his age, even though I would like it because Darius Slay is a baller.
He's a good locker room guy, too. I think he'd be a good mentor for our young DBs.
Yeah, and Orlando Brown Jr., there's multiple reports out right now, of course, across Twitter and everything else like that I've read, that keep saying that the league does not view him as a left tackle. That's what the holdup is that none of these teams want to sign him as their franchise cornerstone left tackle. They see him more as a right tackle because of his lack of athleticism. He's got good, he's good in pass pro. I think it's more so just the run blocking scheme that a lot of teams are worried about. But there was a report that I read earlier too that Orlando Brown Jr., a lot of teams, including the Bears, right now are offering him 1-year deals. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how reputable the source was, but it would make sense from a standpoint of okay, we're going to sign you to a 1 year deal to here's your, left tackle spot or whatever. And if you suck, you suck. Like obviously he's not going to suck, but you said it earlier. It's about scheme fit.
Yes.
And with the Bears, the outside zone scheme, you have to be an athletic tackle. That's why I would think if they did sign him, he would be a better fit at the right tackle position because as an agile left tackle, I mean, the numbers kind of match up with Braxton Jones in terms of pass pro percentage. I was taking a look at that. PFF did a thing where they were kind of comparing the numbers, but it's kind of difficult because I'm not an offensive lineman. I don't know how necessarily what teams are looking for an offensive lineman. I don't really know how to rate offensive linemen, with the exception of I know getting off the ball, explosiveness, footwork, and hands are extremely important as an offensive lineman. We learn that as defensive linemen. That way we know what to do against you guys. So his footwork is a little slow. That's like the only thing I can say is that it's his footwork. That's the only
He's a
knock I
little
have.
he's a little clunky, and to his disservice, like he's reached his peak. I think like he's not getting no better than what he is. He's already got bad notions behind him. He's also got like he's complained his way out of the Ravens for not wanting to be right tackle.
And it's an ego thing too, because now teams are
Yes.
like, we don't want to pay you to be a left tackle. We want to pay you to be a right tackle. And he's like, no, I want left tackle money, so I want to play left
I said
tackle.
this to you the other day. I do agree with him in that sense where like I mean the right tackles are getting paid too, so I don't know what the huge difference between the pay is. What McGlinchey just get 19 a year or something? Jawan James got
17 and
20.
a half or
Didn't
18 and a
James
half or something
didn't
like that.
James just get 20 from the Chiefs?
Yeah, but they're moving him to left tackle.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
McGlinchey got 19. Orlando. So if I'm Orlando Brown Jr., that's what I want at least. Then that's left tackle money. But like I said, he is a left tackle. That might not be his specialty. You might think, hey, he might be better here or there. But to say he doesn't deserve left tackle money, it's like he just won the Super Bowl at left tackle. So I mean, he's okay at least. Like they had a tackle, they could have moved to left tackle and put him at right tackle. What would like? Why didn't they do that? They decided to put him at left tackle over the other guys they had on their roster. Um, but I guess it is an ego thing. I don't know. I do want him on the Bears. Just like I said, I want to do anything we have to do to stop to get a tackle before the fucking draft, so we don't pick
Well,
one. He's the last
I
one
want to
now.
know what I want to know what his price tag is.
Yeah.
Like what is he asking for on the open market? Because like you said, if Jawan Taylor got 20 mil, it was a 4 year, $80 million deal with Kansas City. And we all know that Laramie Tunsil wants to reset the tackle market. What is Orlando Brown Jr. asking for? Like,
I'm guessing somewhere in the middle of 20 and 25. I'm guessing he wanted more than James got. Yeah, probably, or more guaranteed. Because the Chiefs, they're a decent organization. If he wanted what they just signed James for, they would have signed him.
I think so.
Or you know what I mean? So I would, and I think at this point, him or his agent would have came out and said something like, "What the fuck? We wanted that. You know what I mean? Or we wanted less than that." Or so he probably wants more than 20, and I think that's and now everybody's scared when instantly the Chiefs come out and sign a right tackle who's not even that good to a 4 year, $84 million deal, and let their left tackle who just held down the left tackle spot on a Super Bowl run walk. So that makes me think who they tagged the year previously and didn't want to tag again. So that makes me think he wanted at least. I'm guessing 25 because
that's just too much.
Yeah, and I don't want the Bears to give him that. That is too much. And again, like I said, I'm more along the lines of we should just draft guys, and you know what I mean, in the later rounds, and you get the right coach. You get these guys, you know what I mean, working together. I don't know. Like I said, I would. If it was me, I'd like fucking buy a house. You guys all got to live here in the summer. You guys would be best friends, and I do some shit like that. Like it's more of a camaraderie thing and a synergy thing than it is. Oh, this kid's a freak and his footwork's amazing. No, they all have to work together as one, or it really doesn't matter. Because if one guy fucks up, it doesn't matter. He gets sacked, and all the work the other guys were doing was pointless.
So besides Orlando Brown Jr., who on the free agency list now, as of today, do you want to see the Bears sign the most?
like you were saying, Slade Jr., I'm really interested in them kicking the tires on that. I really like him. He's a nice guy. He's had nice things to say about Justin Fields. And I think he would be, like I said, he's just a really good locker room guy. Ben Jones, isn't he a free agent who got cut by the Titans? I really haven't seen anybody saying anything about him. So I'm interested to see. Nobody said anything about Lawan either, reaching out to him. He hasn't said anything. I'm assuming he's.
Wouldn't it be some shit? Wouldn't it be something if we ended up getting Ben Jones, Nate Davis, and Taylor Lewan, even if Jones and Lewan were just like 2-year deals or whatever, kind of like placeholders for
that's what I was saying. I think last week I said, maybe I was saying it to you that like since we got their coach, maybe we get Lewan, get Ben Jones, draft a couple guys in the second, third, fourth round, whatever it is, coach them up, and send them on their way. You know what I mean? And Lewan leaves after this year, Ben Jones leaves after this year. We move on with our young group of guys. Because, like I said, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to say it all the way up into the draft. In our first live stream, when we stream the draft, I'm going to be fucking livid if the Bears pick Saransky. And I like the kid. I've always liked Northwestern, and I don't mean to hate on the kid. I just think that's too. He's not a 6'6", 325-pound light foot. You know what I mean? Agile beast out there, left tackle. I don't want him in the top 10.
But Paris Johnson is.
Maybe, yes. And like if we were going to get one of them, I would rather it be him. I think Saransky's a guard who can play right tackle when our tackle gets hurt. And I just don't want to pick a guard in the top 10. Campbell could be a bust, whatever, but I would rather roll the dice on a big guy who's light on his feet, who could turn into a freak, and he's got room to grow, like grow even more into his body. Like fucking Saransky's not going to get longer arms and get taller. Like, but I guess you want to go into the mock draft since we're talking about the draft so much. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm going to pull mine up.
There.
You got yours up?
I'm going to pull them both up at the same time.
Okay.
All right, I got them. I put them together. Share. Okay, here we go.
And there's no audio with this one, so it's good.
Yeah, it's giving me. Okay. What the hell? Let's see.
Today's the 14th? Today's the 15th.
Yeah. What the hell? Can you see him?
Yeah.
Okay. That was annoying. Oh, all right.
Right now, it's only at your screenshots, though. It's like a folder, it's not blown up. It's not full screen.
Oh my God, this is really frustrating me. I have it now. I checked it too before we started. This is okay. There's the work now. Okay.
Hold on. Yep, there it is.
There we go. All right.
So we got these on the left. Mine is on the right.
Mine is on the left. Tom's is on the right. I guess I'll kick it off. I had the Bears trading down to 12 with the Texans for third and a fourth, I believe. That is. Yes. I think just a little bit bigger. Let me see. It's not. And like I've been saying all the last few weeks, even though we got DJ Moore, I just have my heart set on them picking JSN. I think that's a move for Justin Fields. I've been saying I think they need another weapon. It may not have to be JSN. Maybe it's a tight end, but I do think we need another weapon. I'm fine with having 4 wide receivers. I think we're going to be a spread team anyway. Even when we run the ball, it's in a more spread out fashion. And like I said, I just want to add another weapon. This is the offensive league. As much as I think we need O and D line, I think we can find those guys later. It's a scheme thing. It's another way. The skill position. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough late in the draft, but the good guys are the good guys, and you kind of got to get them high. And then I had him getting the D. I think he's a. It says he's an edge rusher, but I thought he was a DT. The freak guy from Northwestern. I think he's a good fit. The Bears were heavy out at the Northwestern Pro Day. And I just think they're going to pick somebody like him. And then Luke Whippier, Garrett Williams, Sam Laporta. Then it just basically mostly defense. And then I got them closing it out with Stetson Bennett. I do think we might pick a young backup quarterback right now. I don't know who's going to be our backup going into next year. And I also have them taking Chase Brown. I know you talked about him earlier. We've been talking about him, Illinois kid. So we know a decent amount about him. I think we will also pick a running back in this draft somewhere in the later rounds. And I think he fits the mold of somebody that might work out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I see we have a couple of the same, at least we have the same idea.
Yeah.
Kind of going. I mean, we went opposite directions. I didn't do any trade backs. While I think that Ryan Poles isn't done, I just went straight forward with this right now. So, as you said, heavy at the pro day. If they were to pick tomorrow, as you said,
yes,
they would be taking Peter Skoransky.
Yes,
so I reflected that. a little bit. Like I said, like you've been saying, right tackle, kick him in the guard. I don't think he can play left tackle, but I also don't think the short arms is necessarily a deal breaker in terms of being a tackle, because he is a very athletic kid. He is very athletic for a man his size. So at the same time, 9 may be a little high, but if they were to pick tomorrow, they probably would take Skoransky. I also had them taking the edge out of Northwestern. The kid was a freak.
Yes.
Combine numbers were just outrageous. I'd be surprised if he lasted to that pick, if I'm being honest with you.
In all my PFF mocks draft, he was, but I agree with you. I'll be surprised if he's there when we pick that late too.
Yeah, and then of course I had it looks like you had Luke Whippier, center out of Ohio State. So we both went interior offensive lineman with our third pick. Yes. I went Steve Avila only because I think Steve Avila has a little bit more. And Luke Whippier was there.
I don't think Avila was there. I'm pretty sure Avila wasn't there when I picked her. I would have. I think I picked the highest rated interior lineman.
Okay, because the reason why I had Avila was because I just think he's got more versatility. I think he could play guard and center, but I just don't see that with YP. I don't know how you say that. YPer. I'm assuming or YPer.
YPer or something.
Yeah, Avila is once again one of those athletic offensive linemen.
He's good.
I went a little bit higher in terms of running back with mine. I went Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA.
I like him. He was on Michigan. He transferred. He can play.
Yeah, the kid's got some hands, man. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's very shifty. I think that'd be a good fit. Well, we both have Hodges Tomlinson because we do need that nickel corner.
Yes.
I think he'd be a good fit. He played really well, really, really well all season, especially in the playoff games. He played really well. We both have KJ Henry. We both have Moro Ojama. Moro Ojama, let me tell you, I've been reading up on him. I don't think he makes it to round 4 or 5 either. I think he's a round 3 pick.
Yeah,
that kid is a monster, and I'd be surprised if he lasted that long. You picked Laporta, so you had a tight end going in the 3rd round.
I do think we'll get a tight end as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to go more athletic. Kuntz is very he's one of those wonder boys from the combine, one of the workout warriors, very athletic, very high scoring on the all-around combine test. I believe he was the highest rated tight end in terms of overall score. But he's raw. He's very green. He doesn't have a lot of experience, and being an Old Dominion as well, there's not a lot of big time competition. But the kid is like 6'7" and runs like a 4.5 40 or some shit like that. Like, he's ridiculous in terms of athleticism. And then I just took the best, backup tackle that was there in round 7. They don't have that extra 7th round pick that we're getting from the compensatory picks.
Yeah.
So obviously I wasn't able to do that, but I mean, it looks like so far we have the same kind of
idea.
idea.
Yeah. I'm on my head. I'm like I said, I had them take JSN, which I don't think is the smartest pick for them, but I do think it's a good pick for Justin Fields, and I do think they have to make one or two picks for Justin Fields higher up in the drafts. That's what they did for Burrow. That's what they continue to do for um, Patrick Mahomes and these guys. You gotta keep reloading these guys with weapons. But after that, honestly, I just went best available. I think that's what the Bears should be doing. Based on how this offseason went, like you've been saying, I don't think I'll get my way and it be a 1 year like turnaround for the rebuild. So I think he just picks the best football players every time it's our turn to draft. You know what I mean? To reason, you know what I mean? We don't need to pick, like I said, if we pick JSN in the first round, we don't need to get any more wide receivers. So, like, the best available player that isn't a wide receiver, and just have that mindset moving forward. Even if we've got, like you said, even if we could put Whippier or Avila behind a guy. Maybe they don't start and they practice, but we need to rebuild our roster. Our team, our organization is in shambles, and we just have nothing to look forward to, really. So they just have to go best available, pick the top guys that are up left, and hope Justin Fields takes a step if we want to compete, and not more try and pick the perfect players to fit the positions and end up picking bust or reaching.
Yeah, I mean, I think running back is a definitely a need. I think we get that rounds 3 through 5, somewhere around there. A lot. You take a look at a lot of starting running backs around the league, especially the ones that led the league in yards per carry. A lot of them were drafted in the third round or later. I mean, there's minor exceptions here and there, but for the most part, you can get that running back in the middle
I
round.
don't know. Most of them are pretty good because what? Saquon's a first round pick. CMC is a first round pick. Derrick Henry was first round pick, second round pick, high second.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, but you take a look at everybody else. Majority of the league are
I agree with you, 3 to 5. It's like a lottery ticket. It's every year you take one in the third or the fifth round, and if you get a gem, you keep him. If not, he'll be your backup, and you get rid of him in 2 years when his contract runs out. And every year,
or he becomes a special teamer. You know.
I do agree with you there. At some point, we're gonna have to pick a running back because Herbert and Homer are not it. I think they'll be okay, but I would like somebody with a little more potential to be a premier back.
Well, like I said, I have Skansky in my mock draft. It's not who I want because, like I said, if Devin Witherspoon is there at 9 and they're staying at 9, I would much rather have them pick.
Yeah, you should have did it who you wanted because I agree with you. Like I said earlier, if they drafted today, we're taking Saransky. I would be shocked if they didn't take Saransky.
Because Devin Witherspoon to me is the best corner in this draft. He's physical. So? Oh, he's physical. He's very high football IQ, and he loves to tackle. You don't see a lot of those corners anymore where they like to come up and make the hit and tackle and actually proper form tackle. And Witherspoon's one of those guys. So not only will he help out in pass pro, but he'll also be a good defender against the run because he likes to get physical. He likes to get in there. He likes to tackle. And I think he just fits the mold of a Chicago Bears defender. And Christian Gonzalez kind of shies away from contact a little bit. The only knock I will say on Witherspoon is that he might be a little too aggressive. So what I mean by that is I think he, almost like Trayvon Diggs was his rookie year, he thinks he's good at diagnosing a play, but in his formidable years, that rookie year, until he learns that the NFL is a completely different level, I think he's going to try to jump too many routes. He's looking for that pick. That might be the only knock that I have on him. Everything else, though, is fantastic. I really like the
corners have been like all over the place. One time you'll see Christian Gonzalez going top 5 or top 6 or some shit.
Well, I think Detroit picks a corner at 6, if I'm being honest.
You think so?
I really do. I think they really need to shore up that defensive backfield a little bit. They also need interior defensive linemen, probably another edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. But since they have Aiden Hutchinson, I'm sure they'll find somebody either later in the first round for that, or they'll go. Like I said, it's a deep draft on the defensive line, so they might take best player available, depending on who that is, at number 6. But their weakness is that secondary. it's really bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the Hodgins-Tomlinson thing, I think, he'd be a good nickel corner. Not somebody,
Yeah.
obviously, that would be your number one or number two corner, but he can play that nickel slot, and he can do it well. He's better at man than he is in zone, but he also can't be on, the best wide receiver because he's not all that fast. He can't keep up with the speedsters, running streaks down the field. He's definitely going to need some help. So to me, that third, fourth round grade on him is about right.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up with him or somebody like him, like you said, in the latter rounds. To follow up again, to harp again, like I said, I really do think we'll end up with Saransky. They made it a point that the Bears were out at Northwestern's Pro Day heavy. It is right down the street, so why wouldn't they, I guess, just to I don't know, just as a practice run for everybody who's going to go out to all the other Pro Days. But I don't, like I said, we didn't get a tackle. We have to get a tackle.
Yes.
So if we don't get Orlando Brown Jr. or I guess Taylor Lewan at this point, really that's it. I don't know. Are there any other tackles to go get now?
Isaiah Wynn.
He's okay.
Exactly.
He's on the Patriots. Okay. He's probably better than Lewan. Even though I got my Michigan shirt on, I don't mean to hate on my boy like that, but
he's 26.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, Lewan, his fucking podcast is more famous than he ever was as a football player. So, no shade though. I mean, I think it's why would you kill yourself when you make the same money sitting in a bus talking shit about people you used to play against? But yeah, that was our first mock draft. We'll probably do a couple of them. I mean, one every week or so.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll probably do one a week. I've done
100 already. But
that's the thing too, is literally, and that's the hardest part about doing one like a draft simulator is that everyone's different. There's no consistency. The only consistency is the top 3 picks.
Yeah.
And all of them have Jalen Carter still going top 5, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no other trades that are being made, and we all know that that there's going to be trades made on draft day. I don't think Ryan Poles is done. I
don't either. That's why I had us trade him back. I don't know if it'll be the 12, but I think it might be the Titans 11, 12. I don't want to fall behind the Packers because, like you said, the Packers have made it clear that they will take JSN. And if they end up with JSN, I will be hurt. I really don't want that to happen. If they do take him.
There's good news, though. No more Aaron Rodgers. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Is he officially gone? Said it. They still haven't decided.
All that's holding it up, it's either Jets or retire. He's not coming back to play for Green Bay. He's pretty much made it clear that it's Jets or retire. He said his intentions since Friday were to play again and play for the Jets. He is not playing for the Packers. So the only thing that's holding it up is the Green Bay in terms of trade compensation. He is out of Green Bay. So I love Aaron Rodgers as a competitor. I love him as a football player. As a person, he seems like he's a fucking hippie asshole, but he has tormented us for 15 years. I will be glad to have him be somebody else's problem.
Well, I mean, that also just makes the division more wide open. The Vikings are getting old and they're losing a lot of people. The Lions have a good foundation, but they are the Lions. They do have Goff, and they got some pieces in place, but they're not that scary to me. They don't got a super quarterback. They don't got an elite wide receiver. They have a nice little D line, but their secondary is terrible.
Dude, I don't know. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's fucking good.
I think he is good. I just don't think he's elite, somebody who can't be stopped. I just think they throw the ball a lot. And he gets a lot of those passes, and he's benefiting from. But I don't think
wouldn't the same be true to any team that throws the ball 40 times?
I was going to give you a good example. I don't think Wes Welker was elite. I think they had schemed him up a lot of great plays. He had a few short routes that he was elite at running, but as a whole, I don't think he was an elite player. But he would put up elite numbers because
but he also had a clear number one target that defenses were swarming around as opposed to, I mean, they had Gronk, they had Randy Moss. At one time, they had Aaron Hernandez.
I mean, that is true. I mean,
you know,
I'm not hating on Amon Brown. And that was also 1 year. You know what I mean? They might get the tape on him and figure out how to stop him. I don't know. It's still just 1 year. So I'm not going to make you not a bona fide elite wide receiver after 1 year, unless you're Jamar Chase. But we knew that in college. He sat out a year. He was like, even Justin Jefferson had came into the league, and everyone's like, I don't care what Justin Jefferson just did. Jamar Chase is better than him. Like, and that was in Justin Jefferson had like the best rookie season ever for a wide receiver. And everyone was like, yeah, but Jamar Chase is better than Justin Jefferson. And he pretty much, I don't know if he proved it, I guess. I don't know. They throw the ball a lot too. I mean, so do the Bengals, but Joe Burrow spreads it around. Kirk Cousins basically just throws it to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Joe Burrow throws it to everybody.
Yeah. I figured since it was a draft special today, I don't really have a factor cap because I really wanted to focus on the draft and kind of give us our opinions.
Moving forward, I mean, it's mostly going to be,
Yeah, I really want to know what you guys think in the comments section. Who do you guys want the Bears to draft?
Yeah.
Do you think Ryan Poles is done? Is he going to trade back? Free agency, who do you want to see them sign in free agency? There might be some more cuts coming. Free agency is not over. So if you're a Bears fan and you're worried, that we still have $50 million to spend. Don't worry all that much. Like, it's going to be spent. We don't know who yet. There's still, what is there, 4 weeks until the draft? There's 6 weeks until the draft. Almost.
Yeah. April, 22nd or April, mid-April?
So, I mean, there's plenty of time. We just got to pump the brakes a little bit. Like you were saying, hopefully, God.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Bears sign QB PJ Walker. That wasn't the on-air breaking news. I mean, he's fine, yeah. I guess that probably throws my Stetson Bennett pick out the window, but
I mean, PJ Walker's he's
adequate backup, yeah.
He was really good in the XFL.
Well, it's too bad on the Panthers when he finally got in, or when he got in.
Speaking of the Panthers, real quick, because we have their we have the first round pick next year. They still don't have a wide receiver, but.
Well, they got Terrence Marshall Jr. They had a few guys they drafted.
Yeah, but like nobody that really scares me. Yeah. But they did sign. They made a couple of moves today on that offense. Their defense is stacked, and it continues to get stacked. Their defense is going to be really good next year. But they signed Miles Sanders, and they also signed Hunter Hurst.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
They also got a lineman too, right? An offensive lineman.
Maybe that top 5 pick, unless the rookie quarterback has a really, really bad year, because they did sign Andy Dalton as well. Unless something happens, we're probably still looking at a top 10 pick. That top 5 pick though might not.
Who do you think will be the worst next year?
Right now, as it stands,
Tampa.
They just signed Baker. That's really not going to, move the needle for them. They still got good wide receivers
and a solid defense.
The way Indy seems to be selling off parts right now, I really think they're in tank mode. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling about Indy.
With the Panthers trading up, they're out of the quarterback market because the Texans aren't going to give them the second pick to pick C.J. Stroud.
No.
That's never going to happen. And everyone can say what they want. This isn't Madden. The Panthers didn't trade up to 1 to try and finesse a better deal than they gave the Bears because it ain't going to happen anyway. Everybody's already saying the Panthers got fleeced.
If they trade down, the only team they're going to trade down with is Houston.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does Indy feel comfortable taking Will Levis?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it depends on who Carolina picks. Because if Carolina fucks around and picks Anthony Richard number 1, and
they're not picking Anthony Richardson.
Bryce Young, I'm just saying it's with Andy Dalton. They're probably going to do the same shit that the Bears tried to do with Justin Fields with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's going to go there and start for a year. Anthony Richardson's going to sit behind him for a year, kind of learn. You know what I'm saying? And then start.
That would be wild if they pick it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just think, like we said, I hate to wear my Michigan shirt today because I feel like I've just been talking so good about Ohio State. It's really frustrating me, but I just think Stroud, you cannot pick Anthony Richardson over Stroud.
I'm just saying it's possible. It's
maybe Bryce Young. I don't like Bryce. He's too little, and I don't like Alabama quarterbacks. They're never good.
But unless somebody trades up to number 3 for Arizona, Indianapolis could end up with one of those 3. I don't think they take
Lamar Jackson. They can get Lamar Jackson.
I don't think they're going Lamar. I don't think so. I think Lamar.
Saw a rumor that not a real one. I just saw some theories that the picks that the Packers get from the Jets, maybe they go get Lamar Jackson.
No, there's no way. It's Jordan Love's team.
Yeah, I think they picked him, drafted him too high to not at least give him a year.
Yeah, because they haven't seen what he can do.
He looks the part too. He just looks the part. I said, I don't think he's a world beater, but you never know until you really get your chance. But he's big, got a big arm. He's mobile. He's the prototype quarterback in the new NFL. So I just saw that. That would be crazy. I just don't like. I mean, before we close it out, I do want to be going. That's like, how is Lamar not getting picked? I know I've been critical of how he handled all these things. I think the older I get, I feel like I'm like I feel like as a kid I was anti-establishment, but now I'm like a grumpy old man where I'm like, just play your goddamn contract. Like, where it's like I don't know. Like as an older guy, it's like you gotta leverage. Like it's not all race, it's not all this. Like it's cost analysis, it's benefit. When it's like, of course, Joe Burrow's gonna fucking get a fucking crazy contract because if he blows out both his knees, he can still do what he's good at doing.
Let me throw this team out at you and tell me what you think. If there's any NFC North team that has the cap availability and the draft capital to go and get Lamar, it's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I do. I knew you were going to say that because again, they have 2 firsts. And I mean, I don't like how Lamar behaved, but I think for the right team, you tell him, you come sit him down. Hey, you come talk to me. I'm the owner, and be like, hey, we're not the fucking Ravens. I'll give you your fucking big contract. But when fucking Joe Burrow signs for fucking $1 billion and a key to the city, I don't want you fucking frumping around being like, extension. And then every time you get hurt, you're going to sit out. Like, what do you want? The 200 guaranteed? As much as I wouldn't want to, why not? You know what I mean? Like, that's just the market. You're going to have to give him like 160 guaranteed somebody eventually.
Well, he was offered 100. He was already offered 133 million guaranteed from Baltimore. Yeah, it was on 3 years.
133 or yeah. That's I don't know why.
I think Dan Campbell is the type of coach that everybody wants to play for.
Yeah,
and
I think the Lions have nothing to lose.
Yeah, the fit wise, even if you were to make a trade with Baltimore, right? Even if Baltimore matches and you sign them, you send them Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks, and whatever else they want.
Give you eight in the next first, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah. You keep one of your first this year somehow. And
Detroit is a team to look out for in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. I'm just saying.
Everybody's being quiet. I know also I said I don't think there's collusion, but the longer the quietness goes on, it makes me think that there was a memo sat out. You know what I mean? When they were all on their having their skull and bones meeting and sacrificing a virgin, they all decided that, hey, Lamar Jackson is not getting a $200 million contract. I don't care. That is out there in the atmosphere. Unless you're Joe Burrow, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, you ain't getting that fucking contract. Josh Allen really didn't even get it.
But see, that's the thing,
I was looking. Josh Allen got a 3-year, $133 million extension. His is like exactly. They basically offered Lamar what Josh Allen had, like what Josh Allen's going to be making these next 3 years or some shit like that. And Lamar is basically saying like, that's not how it works. I waited, so I get more. You guys should have gave me. I would have took that 2 years ago, but you didn't give it to me. So now
and that's the thing is that we talk about Joe Burrow. People forget, they're quick to forget, Joe Burrow blew out his knee his rookie season.
It came back. That's what I'm saying. When I said Joe Burrow can blow out both his knees, he's still going to be fucking Joe Burrow. Like Lamar, he's obviously a good quarterback, but what he gets paid his money for, he needs both his knees to do.
Yes.
And Joe Burrow does not. And it's like it's easy to protect your shoulder in the NFL. And it's not easy to protect your knee. One bad sack, one bad interception, one bad, you know what I mean? You try and make a block and it's all over with. And like that Lamar, as good as he is, we all know Lamar is amazing. He has to take that into account. Like, you know that. And you've missed games every year. Has he ever played? Yes. And it's like, I understand what he's trying to say, but like, if they make it a race thing, it's like, sorry, there's never been a white quarterback who was just a runner. So we'll never fucking know. Like, there really hasn't been a white quarterback who was Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson who made their money running the ball. Like,
the closest thing you can compare that to is maybe Steve Young.
Yeah. And it's like Josh Allen. And Josh Allen got what they offered Lamar. It's like Josh Allen didn't get a crazy deal. No. So it's like Lamar's got to come down, and there are the little clue going, like the Deshaun Watson deal. They don't want that to be the precedent.
No, absolutely not.
And it's not going to be. The NFL is not the NBA. As they say, the inmates will not run the prison.
Did you see the report? I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you see the report? There's reports out there that Lamar Jackson said that he might sit out the entire season next year.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, and like these guys, like, and I think Lamar's being used by the NFLPA because they're the ones who are representing him in all of this, as kind of like his agent, and NFLPA is looking out for all the players. They're not looking out for Lamar because Lamar could have been locked up for $160 million guaranteed 5-year deal, making just as much more, making $45 million, $50 million a year. He could have been doing that. But Lamar's ego and the NFLPA, I'm sure, is trying to get on NBA status where these fully guaranteed contracts. And the NBA is about to go away from that because these guys aren't playing all their games. And that's what's the NFL has way less. So they're definitely not going to give it to Lamar, who keeps sitting out games because he's, you know what I mean? He always nicked up. Sure, you're injured. You know what I mean? Sometimes you are. But again, I can kind of believe you and sit out if you want. But everybody's got the suspicion of when there's a contract dispute, you know what I mean? You just played last week. You're playing next week, but you can't play this week. Like, it's just a weird thing where, like, people are always going to question you. And it's just human nature. Just like people are, like, you're questioning, people are questioning if they're colluding against you. When things are happening, you know what I mean? 1 + 1 = 2. So if you're having contract disputes, you're like, oh, I want a long-term contract just in case I don't get injured, you know what I mean, to protect me for the future. Then you sprain your ankle and you won't play. What the hell do you think everybody's going to think? That you're looking at the future. And it's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't. And just like I think the owner should get this contract thing under wraps because it hasn't worked for the NBA. It worked for the players and it looked good, but NBA and Major League Baseball players didn't just used to sit out for you know what I mean, rest days, I forgot, or load management, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. They used to grind it out every week. And that's why they got the money, because they were worth it. They were playing every fucking game. Kobe got that money because he's playing every game. You could guarantee the fans that when Michael Jordan was coming to your city, he was fucking coming to your city. A guy didn't buy tickets 3 months away. LeBron's got a fucking headache. And he's like, you know what? I don't feel like playing this back-to-back. And he doesn't play. And you bought tickets for your kid 2 months ago. Yeah. And it's like, that's why they're not going to give these NFL players, especially not ones who haven't proven that they're going to play through the pain. And again, protect your body, do whatever you got to do. But then if you get to protect your asset, doesn't the owners get to do the same thing? Your body's your asset. Exactly. You're protecting
1,000%.
And fine, I can respect that. But then you have to respect that they're going to do whatever the fuck they want with their football team then. And I might not agree, but if I'm going to let you do what you want with your body, you know what I mean? That's his fucking team. If he doesn't want to pay you $300 million, and when we all know you're going to blow your ACL out, knock on wood, I'm not trying to, but that's just it. We've seen this story. Like, Lamar Jackson is the first electric player who ran a 4.3 and lit the league up. It usually ends in knee injury. That's just what it is. And I like Lamar, and I hope he finds a good place. And I think a lot of these teams, I think the Ravens are in a special position. They're a good organization who can, I think they can eventually replace Lamar, or they can put a placeholder and play and be a solid team. Their fans will get back on board. You know what I mean? They'll be mad for a season or two, but they got a good fan. But like you said, the Lions, what do y'all got to lose? Mm-hmm. Like, who cares if Lamar gets hurt? And, you know, then you're back to doing what the Lions do. Like, but I think that would, for me, in my head, I don't understand how Atlanta is not jumping all those. He's Mike Vick 2.0. You guys have already You know the city loves that. His jerseys are going to sell out. The Ravens or the Falcons and the Raiders to me for the same reasons that if I'm the owner, we're going to make a fucking $1 billion in jersey sales and fucking merch just on Lamar.
The Raiders signed Jimmy G, so that's not happening.
Yeah, I know they're not. I'm just saying that to me, if you're not trying to win the Super Bowl, you're trying to make money, and Jimmy G ain't making you no money or winning you the Super Bowl. And the same with the Falcons. What the hell are you doing? You're not trying to win the Super Bowl. Lamar's still young. I mean, just like you're going to have to build around him, you have to build around somebody else. You just build through the draft instead of building through free agency.
Well, they're going to give Desmond Ridder the opportunity to be the quarterback down there in Atlanta, so we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, sir. That's it, man.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope if you stayed this long, you didn't like the video. Fuck you. But please like the video or dislike it. Constructive criticism in the comments. I'm receptive to it all. I've been told that I don't let Tom talk enough and I talk too much, so I'm trying to stop doing that. But see you later, bud. Episode 20, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good night, everybody.